Hey graduates, wagwan, wagwan. Can you hear me loud and clear? Big up on a nice clean self. Yes. Let me just go through the chat and make sure that we're here. First of all, as I come in, like up the live, because you see this situation here is something that a lot of Jamaicans need to be aware of. A lot of Jamaicans, especially those of us who live abroad, yes, because this type of scam is something that you may not be aware of, and um, the story needs to be shared left, right, and center to raise the awareness of the public. You understand? Because trust and believe you have some family. Me not say all family body no, but you really and truly have some family in Jamaica where some wicked, and them take with the idiots. Yes, them take with the idiot, them take with the fool. And honest to goodness, me not understand how them rationalize their actions. Yeah. And when I share this story with you, it's going to be an eye opener. All right. So, first of all, let me go through the chat and hail up everybody we reach. Arlene, good morning. Andrine Ferguson, big up yourself. Marcia Walters, I see you. Life with Julie, what's up, sis? Nadine Orr, good morning. Charmaine Walker, big up yourself. And as my admin says, welcome one, welcome all to my live. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to show appreciation to the channel. Gals are nice, big up yourself. My other admin is welcoming you all. Please to like up the live as soon as you come on. Misty Brown, big up yourself. Jeanette Johnson, big up yourself. Hey sis, what's up, Norma? Big up yourself. Right, I see you all. Yvette Sharp, big up yourself. Charmaine says she can hear me. Big up yourself, Charmaine Walker, social spectator. Big up yourself. Foreign Woman TV, big up yourself. Yeah, good to see you. NPSB, present and accounted for. Barbara Finley, big up yourself. Loving the Purple Hearts. And Anne, big up yourself. Essay, big up yourself, sis. What's up? Vibe Studio, big up yourself. Faith Bell, big up yourself. Simone Barton Joseph, big up yourself. The Three Leaf Clover, good morning. Lady Keish, good afternoon. Sexty Sanas, you're present. You're just late. No, man, you're not late, man. We're still in the warm up. Them will fake them own debt to get money. If that is one scam, and I think a lot of people are aware of these kind of things, but this one is different. This one is very, very different. Um, but I have to give God thanks that for my mother's passing away, I never had to deal with this kind of thing. I give God thanks that the family that I have there are valuable, that they are honest, that they are integrous. And between me and my brother, we made one of the biggest events take place. Yeah, because when people did see my mother funeral, them never know say funeral coulda turn up so. You hear me? We did I mean, John Shop, you know what me I talk about, cause uno see. Cause me send uno the pictures. We spared no expense. You understand? And so she was honored in life, so she was honored in death. Right? And as I said, we spared no expense. But between me and my brother, we were able to pull that off. And me never have to take out a loan, and me never have to beg, borrow, or steal from anybody for put my mother to rest. Hmm? But this situation here is so despicable. I have never ever heard something like this in my life. And those of you who are abroad, you need to be aware of this. Steph B, big up yourself. Yes, you do. That's right, Norma. You know, say, we go hard upon that. People thought it was a wedding by the time we were finished. Hmm? By the time we were finished, I give God thanks because there are many people out there, and no disrespect, who struggle to put their parents to rest. Right? Who struggle. But let me tell you something. I'm going to share this story with you. Voice changed for the purpose of confidentiality. But when I share this story with you, I want you guys to chime in on what you think is going on. Because me never experienced this yet. But I want you to listen to this situation, right? From beginning to end. But let me check the likes first before we get started. But I'm telling you, Jamaicans abroad, you need to hear this situation. You need to hear this story. It is not a story to be taken lightly, and it can happen to any one of you. Your own family can do you this. You hear me? And without this awareness, you're going to fall right into the trap, right into it. Because some of these people, they will capitalize on even the death of somebody without mercy. And them are wicked. But anyway, we're gonna share the story. But hold on, as I said, let me check the likes. Because I would only like to come and sit down and hitch up. And me know say this is not a gossip one. So no only pa bangarang people are go over here. But me know the people them will want good information going to be present and accounted for. Hold on 1 second. All right, see. Let me check. No, sir, we not start yet. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. We're not starting yet. Please to put up the like some more. Put up the like some more, I beg you, before me get started. Come in now, press play until it hit at least half of one that is here. And I know that my graduates know the gist. When they're supposed to come in and start like up the live immediately to send up the algorithms. That is all we ask. We're not over here, so I ask for nothing else. But may I tell you, say, when me hear this situation, my blood boiled because everybody who live abroad and they leave their parents back home, them want the ability to lay them to rest should they pass without any problems. It is your last rite of passage and the last honor that you're supposed to pay your parents in order to send them home to the ancestors. And to think that in a situation like this is the time that family decide to do these things is very heartbreaking. But I want you to listen to the complexities of it and also listen to the opportunities for deception to take place. We're going to discuss it and we're going to discuss it heavily. You understand? Send up the likes for me, please. Because when I see what take place, I said to myself, say, Father God, you have to walk away from this. You have to walk away from a situation like this. Because what else would they do to you? I mean, not talk about deadlift, people, because deadlift is something. Where's the like button? It's under the video. All you have to do is go under the video and click the thumbs up. So reduce the chat, click the thumbs up. It's right there. Right? It's not deadlift I'm talking about, graduates. Me not talk about deadlift. Big up yourself, Christopher. I'm not talking about deadlift, Me talking about the situation before it get to that point. Because we know the deadlift cause problem. You can't, people fight over land, over property, over money in a bank, all them something there, them thing they happen. So it's almost like you expect that. But this is the part that you don't expect. And I'm going to let you hear it. I want to let you hear this situation. All right, hold on. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear. Let me see. Let me see. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Oh crap. Hold on. My live is running in the background. Let me turn off my live. Sorry. Sorry, people. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear.
Jamaica. And he died quite suddenly. We didn't expect.
Let me change our voice,
He had cancer, and we had no idea.
Why?
So my dad died in Jamaica, and
Can you hear?
he died quite suddenly. We didn't expect him to die the way he died, right? He was very ill, and he had cancer, and we had no idea that he had cancer.
Can you hear? Give me a thumbs up that you can hear first. I don't want to proceed and you cannot hear. Otherwise, I'm going to have to make this louder. Give me a thumbs up if you all can hear. Hold on. Let me get this stand. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear. Loud and clear. Okay, Crystal Chandelier. Big up yourself. All right, me like that. Okay, so we're gonna go again. Pull it up.
So my dad died in Jamaica, and he died quite suddenly. We didn't expect him to die the way he died, right? He was very ill and he had cancer, and we had no idea that he had cancer. Now, my dad has two of us, myself and my brother, but where I'm concerned, my dad didn't raise me. He raised my brother. I grew up with my mum, and my mum and my together. They've not been together since I was like about 2 years old. And this dad of mine, he's hardly ever been in my life. He's hardly ever been around. Every time there's been anything significant that happens in my life, he's been more or less absent. However, we rekindled our relationship when I was, I would say, in my 30s, and we did that via the internet. So he linked up with me online, and online he used to, message me, tell me happy birthday and stuff like that, and then we exchanged numbers to communicate on WhatsApp. But it wasn't very deep. Whenever I'd visit Jamaica, I'd go and I'd see my dad, and we'd leave him with some money and stuff like that. But my dad has never actually given me anything. Yeah, I think the last thing I remember was when I was a kid. He took me out and he shopped with he shopped for me. But my dad's got an affliction. He's a chronic. He was a chronic thief back in the days. He even spent time in prison for it. And my dad, yeah, he basically defrauded an insurance company and used that money and took me shopping and did other things with the money and never gave the people that never deposited the money. That's what he got done for because he was swindling money from the insurance company, and he was in prison for years for that. He came out, he started to live a very humble life because obviously if you've been done for white collar crime, ain't no way anybody's gonna employ you in anything substantial. And he was a well educated man, meaning that he went to high school but he never went to university. But he was very clever, and he used his brains for the wrong thing. But anyway, it didn't really affect me because my mom's the complete opposite of my dad. My mom's very honest, very trustworthy woman, and she never had these kind of problems like he did. It was like there was a curse on this man. He literally just any money or any job he had, he couldn't keep it. And so anyway, as I said, we work very close. And despite the fact that we were very close, we still tried to keep in touch with each other in my adult years. And but it was all electronic via text, that kind of thing. And as I said, whenever I went to visit Jamaica, I'd go and see him and I'd leave him with some money. And occasionally he would say to me that he needs some money and I would send it across. And I never once told my dad no. It was always, how much do you need? And I'd send it across.
Hmm.
So the situation is that after my dad got ill, he found out that he had prostate cancer. And when he found out, it was a bit too late. So the cancer had already eaten up his insides, and there was no surviving for this man. So he passed on suddenly, but it was as a result of his illness, which he discovered, which was discovered too late. So when he passed on, um, I'm here in the UK, and he's in Jamaica, dead. So I've got no way of running around and doing anything that is necessary up and down the place. I've got no opportunity to do that. So it's got to be the family that's on the ground that's doing that. So in Jamaica, my dad has a sister, and this sister, she used to, she was the one who was doing all the running around, communicating with the police, dealing with the hospital and the morgue, the registrar office, doing all the running around. So to help her out, I was sending her some money so that she could run around, afford to take taxis, take buses, whatever was necessary in order to get from point A to point B and to get the paperwork done. So I sent her 100 first, then I sent her another £100. And then afterwards, it got to the point where the body was ready for the burial. Well, ready for the funeral home, really. Um, because we did an autopsy on him just to find out the cause of death, and it turned out to be, as we said, cancer. So what was happening was that we made a decision that we would split the cost between the family members.
Hmm.
Now, my dad, he has a few siblings. Um, Two of them are abroad, but the rest are all local in Jamaica. And I'm in the UK, obviously, as his child, and my brother, who is in Jamaica as well, which is my half brother. So the decision was that it would be split up between the family members. We all put together and pay for everything, and that I would travel down for the funeral. So the situation is that we got a bill. Well, the lady who's my, because I don't like calling her my aunt. I mean, I know which part of her is no aunt. She's not a good person, but anyway. So this aunt of mine, she sent me the outstanding, well, the complete. She said the complete cost of the, because we decided that we were going to cremate him and not bury him because of the condition of his body. So she sent me the breakdown of the costs, and she said it was going to be 375,000 Jamaican dollars for the cremation, which was a straightforward cremation package with the funeral home.
So let me pause that right there and ask a question, graduates. 375,000 Jamaican dollars for a straightforward cremation. This is a cremation that has no frills, no urn, no nothing, just a straightforward cremation. Is that the kind of price that you guys have come across in Jamaica for the cost of a cremation? In a basic funeral home. We're not talking about somewhere like Romans. Yeah, we are talking about a basic funeral home. Yeah, in our ruralish part of the island. Is that the kind of money that we know about? Me just ask the question. But anyway, this is how much the auntie say the cremation is going to cost $375,000. So hold that number in our head. Right.
We thought that was quite expensive. It wasn't no posh funeral home. It ain't one of the top ones in the island. It's just a really basic funeral home. So anyway, she told us that it was 375,000 for the funeral. And when she said it was $375,000, I said, okay, well, pass the basket round and come back to me and tell me exactly how much is outstanding. I'm going to
Arlene
name
says
my
yes.
brother, yeah, Gotch, so
Okay.
I would help to represent him. So the passing around of the basket was basically between myself, the uncles, and anybody else that might be interested in contributing. By the time it came back, she says to me, $190,000 is what we need. So I said, you expect me to pay for more than half? This man's got how much? Four siblings. He's got four siblings, and myself and my brother. Are you
That's
trying to tell
crazy,
me
Arlene. Really.
between all of us, I land more than half for a man who's barely done anything for me in my life? Anyway, she says, okay, hang on, she's gonna go around again and see what she can do to reduce it. She comes back and tells me that the cost of the cremation now is £130. Sorry, $130,000. Sorry. So $130,000 is how much she's telling me. So having told me that, I said, okay, well, that will be my last contribution if that is how much it is. Don't expect any more from me because that's still quite high. But fine, I said, I'm going to pay my last respects. He may not have been there for me, but I'm going to do the right thing and honour him in his death as well. So I was willing to pay that up. So I said, well, I've got a business and I'm going to be handling this like gift aid because through my business I've paid enough income or capital gains tax in the tax year to cover the amount of tax that for a charity donation. I was going to go that route because then it means that I don't end up paying tax by taking money out of my business to pay for this. And it would benefit me to do that rather than draw a lump sum, end up paying tax on it.
Makes
So
sense.
my accountant gave me that idea to actually pay as a donation and deal with it that way. Um, she then said no problem. She put me in touch with the funeral home because I was like, well, I need an invoice from the funeral home
Hmm.
with the costings so that I can then pay the funeral home directly via an international bank transfer. Well, long and short of it is, I got an invoice. Well, first I got an email from the funeral home. I'm not going to call the funeral home's name because I don't necessarily think they're
Me know
above
the
this
funeral home name
scam.
though.
So this manager of the funeral home, she messaged me, and in a typed up email, she's telling me the outstanding balance for my father's cremation is the $130,000. So I was like, you can't just give me that in a typed out, texted email. You've got to send me a proper invoice because I cannot process this through to my accountant. What are you doing? So
True
she
thing,
then
Kerry.
goes, so sorry, your aunt asked me to send you an invoice. She then sends me an invoice. In the invoice I get, it's letterheaded and everything, and it's scanned and it's stamped and signed. So it looks like a legitimate invoice with the balance of $190,000. So I was like, well, hang on, $190,000? That's not how much you said was outstanding. So when I pass this on to my accountant, he goes, no, this is not a proper invoice because it doesn't match what you're telling me. And it doesn't have the total cost of the package minus how much was paid
Yep.
plus how much is outstanding, which is what we need to justify the payment. I take it.
Now you tell me, graduates, isn't doesn't that make sense to you? The woman is saying that the accountant is telling her that listen, the invoice should be properly typed out with the full cost of the funeral package, minus how much has already been paid, and then the balance that is outstanding. Does that make sense to you, graduates? Because it certainly makes sense to me, but it sounds like a reasonable and rational and clear transactional process to do an invoice that has the full cost minus how much was paid plus how much is left. Listen carefully and tell me your opinions. Let me read some of the comments. Kerry says, listen, time to civilize for families overseas to be getting scammed. Partially every single business in Jamaica have phone and website. So damn true. Then is so much it costs to bury the dead. Hey, of course, it's mental. Listen, they sometimes have a crony. Well, let me do this. They sometimes have a crony that work in the funeral home. They share the proceeds. Trust me, Rastafari, them something there. Noriak says yes, it makes sense. Yes, of course. Pottinger says yes, a breakdown of the full cost. It makes sense. And then Alician said it is a regular thing for our Jamaican families trying to scam us. I went through something similar with family in Jamaica. Mighty God of Daniel. Barbara says it makes sense to ask for the full how much was already paid and the final outstanding. All right.
But I sent it back to her and said, listen, this is not kind of invoice that is expected. Is it that the total package of the cremation was $190,000? And how did we end up with the balance of $130,000? She ignores that email and she just sends me the bank transfer information, including the Swift code and all them things. So I was like, hang on a minute. Are you not seeing that I've asked for clarification? I want to know how is it that we've ended up with $190,000? Can you break down the invoice properly, showing exactly how much the package is for the cremation, exactly how much was paid, and exactly how much the balance is so I can get this processed? She then comes back and she sends me another invoice. Now, in the meantime, yeah, me I tell my auntie, say, listen, I want this invoice to be broken out and he now got pay that. So you need to send me the broken down invoice. She didn't really respond, but clearly she communicated with the funeral home because they then subsequently sent me an invoice. This time, the invoice is purely for the outstanding balance.
Hey!
$130,000. No breakdown, no complete package, no nothing. So I was like, but this woman, is it that she don't understand Wagwan? Is it that she don't get it? So let me ring her. So I rang Jamaica Direct and spoke to the funeral home. When I spoke to the funeral home, yeah, I spoke to the woman who's supposed to be the manager, the same woman whose name is on the invoice, on the emails and everything. And I said to her, and by the way, guys, I did check to see if the information on the invoice matched the organization. They've got a whole Instagram page and everything. So I know it is a legitimate business. And the Instagram page is going back donkey's years. So anyway, I speak directly to this woman. And when I speak directly to this woman, yeah, I said to her, what is it that you don't understand what I'm asking you? And she cuts me off mid sentence and she goes, Miss, I understand what you're trying to get out of me. But you've got to understand that your aunt is my contact on the ground and I cannot do anything without her permission, and she's told me that we are not allowed to disclose the full cost of the package to you, and the only thing we are allowed to send you
Hey!
is the outstanding balance. I said, what? What? I said, if that is the case, yeah, you need to go and seek the full balance, the outstanding balance, from the woman that is your contact, which is my aunt. You ain't gonna get my money without knowing exactly what I'm paying for. So I said, and then she goes, please go back. She then replies and goes, please go back to, she says to me on the phone, go back and talk to your aunt and, let her instruct us what to do. So I message my aunt, yeah. And when I message my aunt, I message her, let's say I message her on Thursday. Friday, I don't hear nothing.
Yeah.
Saturday, I don't hear nothing.
Mm.
Yeah. So Sunday, I get pissed out my mind and I just blocked it. I just blocked her number. I was like, why the frig am I waiting 2 whole days to get a response from this woman about my money going to pay for this man's thing, this man's cremation? So I reached out to my brother and I said, listen, yeah, there's a whole issue around what is going on here because I'm trying to reach out to her and she ain't communicating. In the meantime, I get a phone call from one of the uncles. Remember, I said that one uncle is also abroad. So I get a call from the uncle abroad. And the uncle abroad is asking me what's going on, and I'm telling him the situation that I need this invoice broken down. And he starts laughing and going, them in Jamaica, they take we for fool. Them that understand say this are foreign and things don't work like that. So I was like, well, I don't know about that. All I know is that my accountant will not process this invoice because it's incomplete and it's not transparent. He then starts telling me how my dad left one bag of debt in the property he was living in, and the property he was living in was belonged to my uncle. He
Hey!
was living in his brother's house, and he was running up massive debts in that house, and that the total amount of debt that he ran up, I think it's for either gas. No, it's not gas. Sorry, electricity or water, one of the two. But basically, the debt is well over 100,000 Jamaican dollars. That he's got to sort that out, and it's stressing him out, etc. And then he's telling
Jesus.
me that, listen, hopefully she'll get it sorted. I then wait, and then I blocked her, and then I spoke to my brother, and he was like, "Listen, it's some misunderstanding, and it's she's telling me that she sent you the full breakdown." At which point, I hit the fucking roof because she never sent me the full breakdown on the invoice.
Mm.
So I screenshot every flipping communication that I've had with her, with the funeral home, all the friggin' attachments, everything. I attach it and I send it to my brother and said, look, the, the chronological order of the conversation. It's timed and dated, and you can see that she has never once sent me the full cost of the fucking cremation. She has never once sent me the full breakdown of anything.
Hmm.
He's all shocked and flustered and all upset because he's like, I don't understand. Why is she lying? Why? It's either she's lying or the funeral home is swindling us. I said, the funeral home ain't swindling nobody, but they're acting very unprofessional because there's no way somebody should be able to ask you, somebody should be able to ask you, what is the cost of your package? And you should have a straight up answer. How is it a policy for a funeral home in Jamaica to be silent on what is an across the board costing for a cremation? You should not be keeping back.
Hmm.
Nobody should be able to instruct you to hide that information
Correct.
either.
Me agree with
So
that.
he was like, no, this doesn't sound right. So at which point I met the woman and I said, let me message her again and ask her why is she lying to my brother and telling my brother that I have received the full breakdown of the funeral cost. Do you know what this I don't even want to be disrespectful, yeah. You know what this woman sends me a message back saying? Talking about she comes back and says, oh, uh, I'm so sorry that the God in you is having a bad day. Hopefully it will sort itself out and you will calm down soon.
What the fuck?
It's like I didn't want to say fuck you because that was what was on the tip of my tongue, yeah. But I just said you're a waste of time, yeah, because all of this is unnecessary and you are wasting my time. So I blocked her again. By which time, yeah, I've alerted my brother and let him know, listen, yeah, I'm stepping out, I'm opting out of this because I am not in no position for nobody to come and swindle me off my hard earned money
You hear all
because
that?
so flipping greedy and dishonest and got no integrity in that fucking place because every time they see us in a big foreign, yeah, they thinking, and that's what you call it, innit? Big foreign. They're thinking that they can take liberties. Now, I don't know what is going on, but I would like the opinion of the audience because I don't think I'm wrong for not contributing to this situation because I think that they already have the money. Let me explain why I think
What?
that. Because when I spoke to my uncle and he's telling me about all this debt and stuff, he's told me he's already sent over $100,000 towards the expenses for the funeral.
Hmm.
So that's cremation and everything. He's already sent over 100,000 Jamaican dollars down to her, and she's not said anything. All she's told me is that it's 375. So where did this $190,000 come from? And why can't the funeral home actually declare the full balance? I'm telling you that this is how they tell lie upon dead people over there and try and rob people because they think that they've got pounds in their pocket and they want to come and reap benefits or use them for their own situations without you knowing because you're ignorant and you're not on the island to know what is going on. I'd like to know people's opinions if they think I'm wrong for not contributing to this man who was really and truly not even there for me. I've given my dad more than he has ever given me, and I never did it with no dirty heart. I gave it to him for the few times that we were able to connect, but to say that I miss him, I would be lying. I cannot say that. Only thing I can say is that I miss having a dad. Doesn't mean that I miss having a father. But I'd like to hear your opinions. Thank you.
Oh boy.
So,
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. No, sir. Lady C says, you are not obligated to contribute anything. Do not feel badly. Dawn says they want the foreigner to pay the whole cost of the cremation while they do not contribute or they contribute minimally. Damn bright. It says here the funeral home at Teef. I saw this comment I wanted to address from Charmaine. The funeral home at Teef, when my grandmother passed and my uncle called from overseas, visiting overseas, because they saw a foreign number calling, they told him it's only one package they have starting at 650K. Lies! That is double the cost of a high end cremation, Charmaine. That is double the cost. Wicked and lie. That is definitely criminal, right? It is extortion, life with Julie. It is complete extortion. Now, Pottinger Natural said here that the funeral people what is going but cannot discuss the account. So you're saying that they are unable to discuss the account. Anybody else can confirm that? So Pottinger Natural says yes, because the aunt is responsible for the account and not allowed to disclose. They're not allowed to disclose information. No, they're not allowed to disclose information without the aunt's permission, Pottinger Naturals. But the aunt's permission was sought and the aunt blocked it. If everything was above board, because this is why I said this is why she said she's not blaming the funeral home, because the funeral home is following through on what the aunt has said. If the aunt had said release the information, the funeral home would oblige. The fact that she asked the funeral home for the information, they then went back to the aunt and said, listen, she's asking for a full breakdown, and then the aunt told the funeral home not to give it, is a problem. It is a problem because that's where the hiding of the money can take place. You understand? And it is a ripoff for cremation. I don't believe. I know somebody up the top was saying that funeral cremation can cost up to 475,000, etc. But I'm sorry. No, I know when I called myself inquiring anonymously, they told me it starts at 340K. Absolutely, right? And I believe that this particular funeral home, I think it's even less because when I looked at the funeral home, I tried calling, I did not get through, but I have other people on the ground calling to find out how much is their basic rate, and that I gonna really help this lady. So I shall be passing the information on when that happens. 100,000. Let me see this one. 100,000 cannot do cremation. 2 years ago, my grandmother died, and it was 350,000 for cremation, and 75,000 was for the whatever the urn. Okay, don't think that's how it's spelled. No, it's URN. But no, 100,000 cannot. It cannot, and we know that. That is not the issue. Why is the full balance being hidden? Remember, she said in her commentary that the uncle had sent over 100,000, and that is one uncle. There is another uncle also abroad. No doubt he has contributed too. I believe that by hiding the full balance, that the full cost of the package, how much was actually paid, etc., that is an opportunity for that family member to siphon funds and put it in different places and still be out there asking for money when in fact she has collected more than enough or part or whatever. You can never be fully aware. But listen, we can't sing power, we don't know. What we do know is that the aunt blocked the full balance. Make that make sense. Make that part make sense. Right? Um, let me see. Essay says, I would just give them $50,000 and call it a day. Yes, that is a good suggestion, right? This one here, let's see what this says. When my mother passed, I went through the funeral home directly and paid directly to them. But that is what she wants to do. That is what she wants to do. She's trying to pay directly to the funeral home, but the funeral home is refusing to give her a fully broken down invoice. Now, I've never heard of an institution, a business institution, refusing to do what is considered to be fiscal transparency in the form of invoicing. Now, I can understand not being able to discuss like the nitty gritty, i.e., what was paid, when it was paid, and by whom. But I do not see why it is that they cannot do a full breakdown, as in total cost of package, um, um, amount paid and amount outstanding, because that to me is transparency. That is about financial transparency and avoiding fraudulent transactions. If we have got businesses in Jamaica that are willing, I know they can't discuss the accounts, but that you're trying to get money off this person to settle the account. That has to be then the fact that this person that you're trying to settle the account with is now a part of your process, your financial process. And financial processes cannot be cloak and dagger. You can't have people beg for a fully broken down invoice. And why would the aunt block it? Think about that. Why would she block it? It makes no sense, right? That's why the funeral home let her know in their own way. Go to your auntie. Exactly. They were very, very, that's why she said she don't want to condemn the funeral home. Because they gave it away. They were making her aware that something was up. You understand? Because even when they sent the first invoice, if you notice, they sent the invoice for the 190,000, which is what she had asked for before. Um, and then them change it and send it to for the 130,000. So when that happened, that raised a red flag, because she's like, but you told me that the outstanding balance is 130,000. And in the line that the 190,000 was, because she sent me the full invoice, I saw it for myself. Let me read it. It says total amount for cremation package. It never said total amount outstanding. Hold on. Let me go look, Penny. Hold on, the people. Un momento. Let me look, Penny. One sec. All right, sit here. So it says direct cremation. Oh no, that's the balance owing one. What the other one there? Right. So the first one here, no. It says quantity one. Then it says direct cremation description. Then it says unit price $190,000. Then it has line total $190,000. Then it has subtotal $190,000. Then total $190,000. It never says outstanding balance, It says direct cremation, and that is the cost. All right. After that, no. The second invoice that she got. Hold on the second invoice now. The second invoice says quantity one, direct cremation, in brackets in the description, balance owing, unit price $130,000, line total $130,000, subtotal $130,000, total $130,000. So in this second invoice, they have distinguished between direct cremation and balance owing. You hear? That is what happened in the second invoice. So if the 190,000 that was asked for first was the balance owing, why the invoice description never say balance owing? I want to pay attention, You understand? Because this is how they rob you, right? Miss Spencer say the aunt have other bills of her own to pay. Bam. Essay say the funeral home knows what right. And them a drop them little hints and make the person know, say, that she now move straight with the cost, right? So SA says, I would give them a contribution that is reasonable to me and forget them. Then this person says here, yes, we talk about that already. So Noriak says, when my mother passed, I went to the funeral home directly and paid them directly. Yes, so we spoke about that. Blessings, speak of yourself, Lady V. So I'm saying, if it is that the aunt was being transparent, graduates, would she tell the funeral home not to disclose the full balance of the funeral? And if it is, are you saying to, somebody was saying that, listen, they can't discuss, but why would the aunt block it? Because if it's a straightforward thing, blocking it would not be necessary. It should be a matter of course, tell her how much it is, break it down for her so she can get this paid. The woman went in, all in, ready to settle and put her father to rest in the best way possible. And these people doing these kind of petty, silly things in an attempt to disguise the amount of money, yes, is causing the man now finna be able to rest in a peace. Because now she's saying that she has fully opted out. And that the £200 was saying that is all that woman is going to see. Now remember, this is a father that was never there. A father that was never there for this woman. Never gave of his time, resources, or energy for the majority of our life. Hmm? The woman said the one time in carry a shop in a thief in money in shop with. Right? So there is something that when you see things like this, make you wonder if genetically, if there is sin in the blood. Because why are they being deceitful? Why are they hiding the complete cost of the funeral? What is in that to hide? Why tell the funeral home do not share it? Of course, passenger natural. Of course. If the aunt gave permission, the funeral home would have given full invoice. That's why the funeral home now get beat. Because the person who block it is the aunt. I want to tell you what I think. She mentioned that the uncle had some debts. She mentioned that the uncle had some debts through the fathers. And when the father passed, the father dead left the debts, which is now in the uncle's name. She said it's some utility bill. Utility meaning water, light, or one of them. And that it come up to well over 100,000. So if that is the case, them have a bill that them need to settle. You understand? And it is likely that whatever bill needs to be settled is priority because it's still in the living brother's name. So even if the uncle who claimed that him sent the 100,000, maybe the 100,000 was not sent towards no funeral, but it was sent towards the bill. And if that is the case, there is still this money outstanding. Now, while I can understand that some people are saying that it can be 300,000, 100,000 cannot cremate and so on. This is a direct cremation. This is not a cremation with urn and fandangles and ceremony and nothing like that. It's basic because the man, as she said, was a humble man in a had only people around him. It wasn't gonna be that big deal. She said they were planning to go and scatter his ashes into the sea and move on with life. Nothing big, eat some curry goat, white rice, and go about them business. Because the person was not a church person. It wasn't gonna happen in no church. It was going to happen in an outdoor natural environment. Them never need to hire no space. It was going to be a case everybody pull up, dash with the ashes, say two prayers, say two chant, keep it moving, eat two food and keep it moving. You understand? So it was not meant to be a big deal. So I do not necessarily agree that it is going to be up to no 400 others or whatever. Because when I take a look at the funeral home, it wasn't no, when I tell you, say it wasn't no funeral home that you understand you can expect no high package from. Basic funeral home. You understand? So even if, is it that from the rest of the siblings and everybody with everything collated and whatever it is she's collected, it turned out to be more than whatever it is. So she don't want nobody to know. And that extra money I get dig off of people so that she can pay her own personal bills. What is it that would block the aunt? I am not going to encourage her to give anything. But I can understand SA's points to give a basic contribution and keep it moving, right? But I am not going to encourage her to do that. I don't think she's obligated to give a dime. Right? Lady V says, funerals always exposes exploiters and opportunists. Absolutely. And Pottage and Natural says, yes, exactly, HTK. They're looking bill money, but they should have been honest. Maybe the family would have assisted with these debts. Exactly. The feeling of being swindled and scammed by your own family is far more upsetting than even that somebody I beg you for help with bill. Your own family not supposed to do you that. And they are using the death of the woman's father as an opportunity to exploit. It is horrible. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you open the information up? Why would you hide it? What reason have you got to hide it? And then come and talk about the gardener. She's upset. She's sorry, the gardener is upset. That is a deflection. The woman sent her a message. I've got copies of it. And she asked her straight up. Hold on, let me read the message what she sent. She asked her straight up why it is that she is doing this. Hold on. Let me read the message them. So, brother's name is claiming you sent me the full invoice. I received nothing. Days and no communication, so not sure what he means by that. I asked for clarification as to what the funeral home said, and to date nothing. Yet you are telling him you sent me the full breakdown. I received nothing. So if there is some error, meaning you sent it to the wrong person, then kindly resend or send it to the brother. I made it clear that without the full breakdown, my accountant will not pay. You had 2 full days to respond and clarify, and you never did. That should have been a simple transaction. And then she sent me the auntie's response. So sorry. I'm so sorry that the God in you is having a bad day. I hope it will clear up soon. Try and have a great day. Keep trying. So her response was waste of time. You are complicating a simple matter. Good luck to you. And then she showed me, said she black her. Exactly. Why? Why? Because it's a straight up scam. It's a straight up scam. And she doesn't want her dishonesty to be revealed. The aunt had the extra for her own gain. Exactly. There is no need for that. And this is how on turn away and blighted on a blessings. Some of you people in a Jamaica and in a the islands, them on a turn on a blight on our own blessings because you could have received all the blessings. You would have received all of the help that you could. And instead of you appreciating that, respecting that, and handling that with care, on a so greedy and lie and dishonest that you have to turn around and make up story and fabricate and deceive to do what you have to do. It's a disgrace. And if this woman decides to turn her back completely, she's fully within her rights, in my opinion. Not even a contribution, not even a pem. Them not deserve forget. She got exposed, so she coming with stupid argument about getting you upset. You got exposed. And you got cornered and you could not back out of it. So you're coming with some kind of psycho babble, reverse psychology bullshit. That is a part of you not taking accountability for the fact that you tell the girl lie. You tell her lie. You will know, say, whatever it is you passed around in that basket, you collected enough, if not more. And you will know, say, you top up fair amount so that you can fat up your own pockets. And that's why you don't want to talk. Because there is nothing in that inquiry. See the whole of my graduates them say it there. The whole of my graduates them say it. Listen, that is a very straightforward thing. That is an expected thing. You're supposed to get a full invoice. No piece of invoice. And you institutions in Jamaica, big up yourself, Debbie Jervis TV. Good afternoon. You institutions in Jamaica need to stop putting foreign people in predicaments like this, where they are not privy to full costings of things like funerals, and that you do not give a leeway, a passageway, an opportunity for family members that are local to take advantage of people's pockets because they're not on the ground. You cannot agree to such kind of situations where you are not allowed to give a full breakdown invoice. You can't do that because that is keeping the people them in a foreign in the dark while the people them on the ground get a chance to exploit and siphon funds. It's not okay. So while I can understand you may not be able to explain certain details and whatever of what is going on, or get or anybody else having permission to change or veto any decisions that are made by the people who are your contact on the ground, you cannot, when it comes to financial transactions, give part information. Hmm? If them love bring God in a them pasa pasa. Misty Brown says scammer have the nerve. I get mad because she not successful. I always think the deceit will not find them. Thank you. And that's exactly what it boils down to. Exactly what it boils down to. So us abroad, we need to be aware of situations like this. When you have a parent down there and you are not there to actually go down and bury them, you're not there to go down and start out at the nine night and all these things. They will top up monies in different types of way, and now they are using institutions in order to hide information from you, so you end up paying out more than is necessary. How is there any other rationale? There is no other. Because anyhow, that was not the case. The auntie would not have a problem showing the invoice. That invoice should have been released from the get go, from the very first request. It should have been a thumbs up right away. That denial points to guilt, and it points to some kind of dishonest and dodgy actions and scamming did that take place. But because them things are we fool, because them things that the people them in a foreigner have no sense. Them can run circles round way and true we know that there we don't know. Listen, don't try it. Everything is electronic these days, as somebody said in the comments. Everything can be looked up and everything can be investigated. You understand? And as soon as I find out from that said funeral home the funeral package cost, I'll put it up in my community so you guys can see for yourself. Because there is no reason to hide this information. And say, for example, it really was 375, and she has received the balance minus the 130, and the 130 is what she need. Why is it difficult then to provide that full breakdown when you have already told the amount? Why? Because the amount doesn't match. It doesn't match. That's why you're silent about it. The amount does not match what is on the invoice. Because if it was the 137,000 or whatever amount, you would not have no problem with that amount being reflected on the invoice because you already told it verbally, or rather in text, to the lady. So that was most unfortunate. Well, God be with you, lady. If you decide that you want to give a token thing, so be it. Hold on. She's just texted and said she ain't giving one dry sheet. I'm not giving one dry sheet to them. They're on their own. This man not doing enough for me to go through this. Oh God. Funerals are now the fastest and easiest way for the needy and the greedy to cash in. Everybody wants to be the front running coordinator for the kickbacks, yes. And at that, I want them can scrape off at the top. Everybody has scrape off at the top, let them a scrape off butterfat. You understand? And that is true. They enjoy having this role because this role keeps everybody else in the dark and them in the know. And if you are not an honest person, if you're not a person that is transparent, you have ample opportunity to deceive those who are contributing financially and even in terms of goods and stuff. but you need to be aware of it, right? And Jamaican institutions also need to do better. So as much as the funeral home, they might try pinch you up on the side, I'm going to challenge this funeral home to revisit your policies, because this is an avenue for scamming that will target overseas funds and can lead to a rinsing of money that is illegal. You need to be aware that you cannot hide full invoices from those who you are seeking money from. That's not okay. It's not, it shouldn't even be legal for that to happen. Right? So why she can't stop you from talk about all kind of other things, like whether or not you're using a pink urn or a green urn, you should not be able to say that you can hide a full total of a cremation package. That's supposed to be something that is information that is accessible and above board at all times. At all times. No, Steph B. No, she says that she hasn't noticed, because the website that they have up on their Instagram, she says it doesn't work. But she does have the organization's bank information. She has that. So I suppose if she decides to change her mind, she can do that. So let me see this commentary here. Was it the funeral home that sent the wire info? Yes, it was. If yes, and they cannot discuss a customer account, why would they give out their banking info to receive payment? Bam. This is what I'm talking about. That is not legal. Me not understand it. You understand? You can give out your banking information, but you to receive the money, but you cannot tell the people them how much it costs. It don't make no sense. Noriak say I don't blame her. Wendy says, keep your money. Hold on. Keep your money in your pocket. No invoice, no contributions. That is her standpoint. She says that she has reached out to the brother. And when she reached out to the brother, she said to the brother, okay, fair enough, this woman is trying to paint it that I am the problem. Because remember, say auntie tell lie and go back and tell the brother, say she send the full invoice to her. And nothing no go so. So she said, okay, I'm the problem. Tell the aunt to send you the full invoice. Cause remember say you the panic ground with her. And I bet you don't get a single thing. And she said, I know the brother no come back to her. I know the brother no come back to her. So if it was a problem with just she, or she a be too much, or them a catch up in her attitude because she asked for this and she asked for that, and then in their feelings, what would have stopped them from sending the full invoice to the dead man's second child that is in the island? Nothing wouldn't stop that at all if she claims that she had sent the breakdown. Sister, the woman I tell blatant lies, blatant fabrication because she get caught. Let me see this comment. They have this mentality that people abroad have money tree that can shake anytime. Yes, they do. And it's got to stop. You understand? Right? It's got to stop. So Steph B says, they would have stayed out there and figured out how to bury them dead, especially like how him never take care of me. Then that may I tell you? That may I tell you, I may totally agree with that. And this is the kind of thing that can reach you parents who do not play an active role in your children's lives and live a reckless life as an adults. A whole heap of una got dead left on a picnic without making arrangements for una death. Una no sort out on insurance, una no have no insurance, and una got dead and left a burden in the pockets of una kids because una spending a whole life living selfishly and recklessly. You understand? This man, him never live a careful life. The man run up all kind of debt, leave debt for him family for carry. Them kind of things that only leave behind can cause your family to fall to shambles and everybody to split and go their separate ways. It is a deep lesson to learn. So many are out there living like this. You think say if me drop down right now, my pity them rich. Richer. May I tell you that straight. Them will not have to bat an eyelid to put this lady down. Nothing it now go cost them. Can me cover for everything. Yes, because my death must not be a burden to my children. How many of you are out there making sure that your deaths are not burdens to your children? She said, her poor brother. was so busy doing certain things because him just start up one little business and our poor brother had to close down his business because him use up all our little money. I do things in the house, I do a sort of something. No doubt also I contribute to the debt that the man leave, DEBT, not death. You understand? And that is the kind of burden that you leave your children to bear. Hmm? It's dreadful. It's her money. Why not ask questions? Yes, since she worked for it exactly. And they're acting as though she's not within her rights to ask. They put 350K on it to backside. It's not impossible. Right? It's not impossible. My children will not suffer. To God be the glory. Right? To God be the glory. And that's how we have to look at life. That same funeral home, I asked for an invoice to take to. All right. So this is what happened with your try scam you. That same funeral home, I asked for an invoice to take to NIS office for a grant, and they said they can't put on the 650K on it because they won't grant the full amount. Because they know they gave you a scammed amount. They know they gave you an inflated amount to fatten their coffers. That's why they wouldn't give it to you in writing, because if you then put it in a writing, a straight cut out. You understand? But we as parents, as you get up in age, see to it that your insurance covers you in the eventuality of your passing. Make sure that you go and take out insurance on yourself. And listen, you don't have to be no rich person to go and get a life insurance. Go and get it, no matter how humble a background you are from. You understand? So that you do not end up in situations like this. It's reckless and careless parents. And I'm sorry to say that about the dead man, but that's reckless and careless parents that leave their children with such burdens after they have gone. And I said it. We need to learn from this. And like I said, challenge those institutions. It should never be allowed that they are hiding the full amounts of any funeral package while expecting financial contributions from those of us who are abroad. You're crazy. Anyway, thank you so much for joining this live. I hope you have found it informative. I hope you found the discussion, edifying, and that there is room for reflection, things to take away and things to talk about. You understand? Because we have to educate ourselves and inform ourselves of what these people are up to and what they're about, right? Yes, me agree with you, my love. Same way, so. Leave them alone and make them bury their own dead, since them want to scam and thief. That is the final word from Steph B. I totally agree. Big up on the nice, clean self graduates. And this is your girl, Head Teacher K. If you are new to my channel, please remember to hit that subscribe button. And you know, I'm a vex, so don't know, because Wally Power still don't go over to the new channel and subscribe. Like up the channel over there, some man. Go to at Vlog It with K. All you have to do is search Vlog It with K. Yes. And subscribe to the new channel. Okay. Yes. Subscribe to that channel, please and thanks. I need to get up to 500 quick and fast. I mean, I'm being, pedantic, but 500 would really, really help to get the channel up and running, so that then we can just focus on the watch hours. Please to support the new channel, Vlog It with K. Different environment, different vibe over there. All right. Walk good, graduates. Yes, indeed. Drop the purple hearts on me, because we're all about justice for all Jamaicans, whether at yard or abroad. We're not gonna make nobody take advantage of una. We not talk up the things them. Big up on yourself. This is your girl, Head Teacher K, and I'm out.